Hello and welcome to Digital Transformation, the Wolverhampton Way. Very glad that you've all arrived. We can see on the screen that there are a goodly number of you there. My name is Philip Doyne. I'm the Technical Director of Click IT, and we're hosting this seminar with our client, the City of Wolverhampton Council. Wolverhampton have been one of our favourite clients, and we've run a very successful project in conjunction and as part of their digital transformation program. And we're really delighted that Andy Hoare, the head of ICT and indeed the driving force behind the transformation program, has agreed to present this seminar for us to explain a bit about what has happened. This program has actually been a great success for Wolverhampton. I'm not actually going to steal Andy's thunder. I'm going to allow him to blow his own trumpet, but there was some very exciting news for them last week, which he will tell you about. So thank you very much for agreeing to attend and for joining in. Just thought you'd be interested that this has generated an awful lot of interest. We've got over 100 authorities who've actually registered to come and listen to it. One small piece of admin before I hand over to Andy is that it's about questions. If you will see, you have a chat box on the system. Please do send questions in at any point. What we've got is we've got some people who are going to collate them and organise them, and then Andy will answer them at the end of his presentation. So please do send questions in at any point. Don't wait till the end. So Andy, thank you very, very much for coming. Over to you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you, Philip, for that kind introduction. Welcome to Wolverhampton. I hope you can all hear me, and I hope this afternoon's webinar will provide you with plenty of insight and a really good view as to the changes that are going on at Wolverhampton. I'm going to keep it quite fast-paced because there's a lot to get through, but by all means, keep on sending the questions in, and my team here will collate them, and we'll try to address as many of your questions at the end as we can. So there's a lot going on in Wolverhampton. It's a really positive place to be at this moment in time. And so what I want to do before we get into the crux of what we've done around business intelligence is to really set some scenes around Wolverhampton itself in terms of a city and as a council, but also to give an insight into our digital transformation and the strategy that we're taking for that. Obviously, we've got some change that's going on, and as with any change, you get some levels of resistance. So hopefully I'll give you a bit of an insight into how we've dealt with some of that resistance, and also how we've had some fantastic support from Click IT, our implementation partner for our business intelligence, and also give a little bit of an insight in terms of what we've done, what platforms we've used, and how we've used them to really good effect across the council. So just having a look at Wolverhampton, hopefully many of you know where we are on the map, but there is a perception of Wolverhampton that we're quite a deprived area. We perhaps are not as forward thinking as maybe many other local authorities, and actually people think of us as probably Wolverhampton next to Birmingham. What I want to do today is really to give you an insight into what Wolverhampton is really about, because that perception is wrong, and I think what you will see is that with insight you'll have a very different view of Wolverhampton, and I think insight is a really key word for this afternoon's webinar, because business intelligence, the use of data, that's what insight gives us. So hopefully this will be just a very practical view as to how that insight changes people's views in this instance, of a particular place. So as a council and as a city, we are confident, we are capable, and we are moving forwards. In Wolverhampton, like many other cities, we have a university. We have a football club. I appreciate many of you may not be Wolverhampton Wanderers fans, but we're very proud of our club and what it's achieved to date and will be achieving going forward. We have a brewery that makes some excellent beers that are not only drank within the city, but elsewhere. We have a theatre which has many top events that take place over the year. So I would encourage anybody who's coming to Wolverhampton to go to the Grand Theatre and see the events that are on there. We also have a great concert hall which attracts many top acts from around the country. And we also have a racecourse where we have racing going on all year round, because it's an all-weather track. So as you can see, there's plenty of attractions in Wolverhampton for people to come and visit and to enjoy. As a council, we are a good performing council. We like to win awards. We're very proud of the awards that we win. We are the Civic Office of the Year this year, and we've also got an award for our procurement team. And if you do visit Wolverhampton to go to those fantastic attractions, we have a fantastic car park that's just been refurbished. And I'm not saying that it's a fantastic car park, it's actually been recognised as a fantastic car park because it's received a very prestigious award. Yes, it's not all about winning awards, but what awards allow us to do is to benchmark ourselves against other organisations, whether it be local authorities, public sector, or even the private sector, because we do want to know whether we are actually making improvement, whether we are actually contributing and making sure that we are a confident, capable city. So benchmarking is really important for us. That's why we're going for those awards, and obviously we want to take all the good learning out of those awards. One, if we win it, but secondly, if there's areas of improvement that we can undertake. So some awards that we are really proud of is our Ofsted. We've just recently had our Ofsted inspection. As you can see, we're in the top 20% of the nation. That's really important to us as we regenerate our city, not just from a building perspective, but also from a citizen perspective. We recognise that the investment that we need to make into the young people in this city will actually pay us dividends longer term, in terms of giving them a good education. Those people then will become the workforce for the city in the future, which means that we can attract top firms to the city, which means that we can generate wealth and prosperity within the city. So actually starting at those grassroots levels of getting the education attainment right within Wolverhampton is really important to us, and we're really, really proud of our Ofsted inspection. Also, in terms of how we look after our children, we recognise that we've got a great children's service, that if children do need to end up in care, that we really do look after them. However, we do also recognise that actually children being with families, getting the support of those families is important, and we've driven down the number of looked after children over the last few years to make sure that they are placed with families and are being well looked after and progressed through, not only from the education side of things, but from their welfare and moral side of things as well. Again, creating that group of people that will come along in the next few years and will continue the great work that's been going on in Wolverhampton, and make sure that we continue to put Wolverhampton on the map and drive the city forwards. Importantly, public health. We need to make sure that we are looking after our citizens, making sure that they stay healthy, making sure that they when we go through the public health system, that they're cared for. And obviously we've made a lot of improvements over the years with regards to public health, and as you can see, our infant mortality rate is dropping dramatically. Jobs. This is a fantastic sort of achievement, to be honest with you. Wolverhampton being cited as the #1 place for the creation of jobs in Europe. Again, putting the city right at the heart of everything, and really recognising the journey that we've been on over the last few years. Also, I think this is the great news that was announced last week. We are the Local Authority of the Year from the MJ Awards, and that's a fantastic achievement that we are extremely proud of, and really underlines how we are a confident, capable city and council. We've got a really strong leadership team and again that was recognised at the MJ Awards, as well as being the most improved council. So again, the journey that we've been on over the last few years, that's been recognised. Obviously, we need to make sure that everything that we're doing has got governance around it to make sure that we are focused and we're delivering against our plans. And again, the MJ Awards recognise that. So, we picked up 4 MJ Awards last week, and we are extremely proud of that achievement. And also, it's a fantastic recognition of the work and the changes that are going on here in Wolverhampton. However, that's what we've done to date. What we need to do is look forward, and the improvement still continues across Wolverhampton. We're not resting on our laurels. We're going to have a new market that's going to be available next year, and the work starts in August this year. We've got a new train station that's on the way, and that will link the trains, the buses, and all the transport links within Wolverhampton to make sure that people who are visiting the city can get into the city centre and actually access all those attractions that I mentioned earlier on. We've got a new leisure and entertainment development taking place. Again, the deals on that were signed and sealed earlier in the year, and work will start on that very, very shortly. Like many other local authorities, we're building lots of new houses and really trying to encourage people to come into the city and to live in the city and work in the city. Our shopping centre is being refurbished. We're attracting Debenhams. I don't want you to believe that we've got just Debenhams in the shopping centre. We've got a lot more shops in there, but obviously by recruiting and attracting an outfit like Debenhams just shows again how the city is moving forwards. So with that, we have that insight in terms of Wolverhampton that hopefully changes that view from that deprived area into a city that's really up and coming, that's moving forward. And I think it really shows that actually with insight, it changes perception, and that perception becomes a game changer. And it's really how our digital transformation program was really focused, in that we understood the power of data and actually being able to analyse that data and provide intelligence from it, and therefore, how important that would be to the wider transformation program that's going on across the city and Wolverhampton as a whole. So what I'll do now is just briefly go through our digital transformation program, give you an insight into the strategy and also the things that we have sort of focused on as part of that initial journey into our transformation program. So as you can see, we faced a number of challenges. The ones that I've put there are not all the challenges that we faced, and I think hopefully the majority of you would recognise those particular challenges. We had challenges around our budget, which I think many local authorities have had. They were quite significant. We had to make significant savings over the last 3 to 4 years, and as a consequence of those savings, we had a decision to make about whether we stop providing services or we actually deliver those services in a different way. As a council, we decided to deliver those services in a different way, and therefore really led into why we need a transformation program. To do more with less, I think every local authority has had to reduce its workforce. Wolverhampton is no different. So we have to maintain the quality or even improve the quality of the services that we've got, but whilst at the same time with a smaller workforce to do that. Children's and adult social care, I think everybody's budget around that area becomes under pressure, and I think again, as you've seen with our Ofsted results and also some of the other work that we're doing around looked after children, we're still providing fantastic levels of service there, whilst at the same time making the savings that we require. As an organisation, we're looking at our property and trying to rationalise the amount of property that we've got. Again, that will deliver savings, but at the same time gives us further headaches about how do you get people into less buildings, making sure that they can deliver the services that they do today, but also making sure that they've got all the facilities that they require for delivering those services in a different way going forward. Some challenges that I think will probably be common to a lot of you. Transformation was looking at how we can avoid costs through data analytics, enabling proactive and intervention so that we can prevent things from happening rather than being very reactive in the way that we dealt with things perhaps as we did in the past. We needed to look at engaging with the communities and with our customers in a new way, and that's really important because it is a transformation, it is a change, and sometimes it's easier to do the change inside your own organisation, but also, how do you get customers to change their behaviours and their culture and their habits? So that's something that we've really focused on in terms of our transformation. What we want to provide is truly end-to-end digital services for our customers and for employees of the council as well. Again, we recognise that if we have end-to-end digital services, we make those digital services really great, really efficient, really effective, based on the customer outcome, then that must be the best outcome for everybody, both from a customer perspective but also from an employee perspective. And as a workforce, because of the property rationalisation, because of the digitisation of services, we really needed to look at the ways that we work, the way that we delivered those services, and a way of enabling that mobile and agile working that I know is really key to many local authorities now. So our vision was very, very simple. It's fundamentally to revolutionise the services that we deliver. And really, what we wanted to do was put the citizen at the heart of that, looking at what are the outcomes, what's the best outcomes for that customer, whether it be a citizen, a business, a visitor to Wolverhampton, and really focusing on those outcomes, because we thought if we got that bit right, then everything else would fall into place afterwards. What we've focused on is that at the moment we believe that a lot of our customers are dependent on the council, and therefore they phone us up. They need to find out information from us. We recognise that actually, if we enable self-service to allow people to help themselves, to deal with things themselves, that's a better outcome from them, and also at the same time it reduces the amount of demand on council services. We also recognise if we could take that a stage further and actually get good community engagement, then the community can actually help each other and deal with things. And again, we felt that that would be better from a community perspective in terms of that community cohesiveness, whilst at the same time, again, it reduces demand from within the council. So the journey is taking our citizens, our customers, from being dependent upon the council along that journey to self-service, but also hopefully to that interdependent customer where the community really does start to help each other. So it's a very simple vision, and the strategy that sort of sits behind that, and I've touched on some of those points already, is around self-service, that community collaboration piece, but really importantly using the data and the knowledge that's combined within the council but also within the community, and sharing that data to deliver different types of services and in a different way. Yes, we need to look at the consolidation of the processes, the technology and the people, but not just within the council, but again looking at everybody that's involved. Making that informed decision, this is where the intelligence comes in, not just using the data, but also providing an analysis of that data so that people can make informed decisions extremely quickly. We've enabled and want to enable our workforce to be mobile and agile. We want to anticipate the plans so that we can react to it accordingly. And really importantly, we recognise that all digital services need to be available anytime, anywhere, any place, from any device. So that's been a sort of philosophy that sort of runs through our digital transformation. In terms of how we're doing it, I'm not really going to go through that in a fantastic amount of detail, but what we've got here is a bit of a blueprint that says we want to engage with our customers, and that top middle section talks about our customer engagement platform where we use Microsoft Dynamics to record all interactions with our customers. That then supports the middle layer, which is our service delivery teams of our directorates that deliver the day-to-day services to our citizens, and there is obviously a supporting services, for example legal, HR, IT, for example, that actually supports those delivery services. But importantly, it's very much focused on the customer, which is through that customer engagement platform, and those services that sit underneath that underpin the delivery of those services. To the right, we have master data management. What we aim to do in Wolverhampton and have delivered is a single view. We've taken data from a number of places, brought it into one place to provide a single view of the citizen. So we actually have a better collective knowledge and view of the citizen. But we've also looked at that for businesses and properties as well. And that provides us excellent data quality, which then leads on to the left-hand side, which is where the business intelligence sits, and the area that I'm going to go and talk on in terms of a bit more detail. But that business intelligence sits across that quality information, that quality data, to provide us the great insights that we want to achieve. So that's our blueprint. I'm really now starting to delve into business intelligence in a bit more detail. This is an area of the programme that has brought great success for us. Back to that perception, about how we take that perception and turn it into fact and turn it into reality. And what we've used is Click's business intelligence solutions, that's ClickView and ClickSense, to support us in doing that, and also with the support of our partner ClickIT. So just to give you a brief overview of the timeline, the journey that we've been on. It's been a really fantastic journey, lots of activity going on, and over the last 12 months, what we have seen is quite a number of things being delivered. I shall go into some of those things in a bit more detail in a second, but really where it all started with that engagement with ClickIT was about, first of all, trying to develop our standards to make sure that we're developing dashboards and intelligence in the right way and in a standard way, but also to make sure that we've got the templates in place. Rather than trying to reinvent the wheel each time, what we wanted to do was have a standard set of templates that allows us to present information in a consistent way, whilst at the same time providing consistent navigation. So irrespective of what dashboard that you're looking at, you would know how to navigate it. Also, we got a great deal of support around our architecture. Just because we bought some great solutions in terms of business intelligence, we needed to work out how they all fit together, and more importantly, how they fit together with what we've currently already got within Wolverhampton. So there's a lot of activity that went on. Following those standards, templates and architectures, we developed a number of dashboards around HR, around finance, and also around our customer services service. So basically the delivery was dealt with in an agile way. We run an agile program, an agile project stream for business intelligence, and about every 6 to 8 weeks we had a deliverable that we were able to go and show our customers within the council, and to get sign off on those and get those things live. So I'm just going to now really start to focus on some of the dashboards that we've developed. First of all, I want to sort of focus on the work that we've done for our colleagues in human resources. At Wolverhampton, we've got a fantastic ERP solution which we invested in about 3 or 4 years ago. It's Aggresso. Some of you may have that. It's a full ERP solution for Wolverhampton, holding finance, HR, procurement, and payroll information. What we found was that actually it held a fantastic amount of information, but we struggled to gain visibility of that information. Got 5,000 employees that are held on the system, but unfortunately managers only had direct view of the reporting line that was underneath them, so they couldn't see the other layers of their establishment, and it was difficult to interpret some of the data that came out from Aggresso. You could do it eventually, but it was quite time consuming. So the solution that we required was something that will provide in one place for all managers visibility of their entire workforce at a high level, summarising it, but then being able to drill down into more detail, and also for them to be able to have automatic reports generated from that, so that they can then discuss that with their other managers or their employees if they needed to. So what we've provided is a dashboard that has got a number of tabs on that. The dashboard is used by managers throughout the City of Wolverhampton Council, but also by the HR team as well, to provide that high level view of the establishment and the resourcing across the council. So I'll just give you a quick view of some of the tabs that are incorporated into the dashboard. As you can see across the top, there are a number of tabs that deals with annual leave, sickness, other absences, management of attendance. The employee list is the establishment, and employee details. If you want to drill down into a specific individual or a specific team, then you can do. The whole dashboard comes with a series of filters. You can see some of them on the left-hand side where it says the quick filters, and then as we move further down, there's areas that you can click on, which actually will then change the view that has been presented there in the centre. As you can see, it's very graphical. It provides a summary of the information, but then each of those areas is clickable, so you can actually then drill down into a bit more detail. On the next view of the dashboard, you can see some of the sickness absence work that we've done. Again, we've got the bar graph there that shows you the number of days that have been taken as in terms of sickness, but also we've got a thermometer view. As an organisation, we try to achieve less than 3.5 days of sickness absence in any particular across the organisation as a whole, but also obviously down into the individual services and the individual teams. What you can see there is a very much a thermometer view of that, but also the next area starts to give you information about the types of illness, the types of absences that people are having. So if there's any sort of correlation, you can see that very much there right in front of your face at your fingertips. Also below that then you can also see a heat map, and that starts to look at trends and stuff like that. So as a manager you can start to take action if you feel that you need to take action based on those sorts of that sort of trend. Importantly, from our HR colleagues' perspective, we needed to look at the diversity of the organisation. So this information isn't necessarily available to every employee or every manager in the organisation. Is actually for our HR team to have a look at the diversity, and obviously to make sure that we're employing a balanced workforce whilst at the same time being able to make those returns to central bodies. So a fantastic dashboard there from an HR perspective that provided really plenty of insight into the establishment at Wolverhampton and, if you like, the absence patterns and sickness patterns of our employees. Following on from that, we've got a number of finance apps. We've got over 300 budget managers within the council, and again, very much like our HR colleagues and the managers in terms of the gaining access to the information in Aggresso for HR. It was also difficult for managers to gain access to the finance information in order to provide in order for them to do their financial forecasting on a monthly basis. It took quite a bit of time for them to pull that information together. What this particular application does is provide all that information very accessible in one place for them to be able to see a high-level view, but then start again to drill down into the detail in terms of where their expenditure is going, where their income is, and perhaps who's actually doing that in terms of spending the money. So as you can see, we've got a high-level view, very much about what the income, what the expenditure looks like, and what the net effect of that is. Again, you can do that at the highest level in the organisation, and you can then start to drill down. So the finance director, the managing director can all see this information, and then can drill down. Obviously, as managers, we don't necessarily see that information at the highest level, but we can actually see it for our teams. And obviously our managers that sit underneath us can see it for their areas as well. So it really does help with forecasting. Okay then, the next slide just really shows that detailed breakdown. So as you can see, you're getting down to the detail level now, looking very much perhaps similar to a spreadsheet. I'm sure all your finance colleagues that are there on this particular webinar, I think you appreciate you can't do finance without having some sort of spreadsheet view at the end of the day, and obviously this is where it really starts to come to life. You can see some plus signs there. Those are clickable and starts to expand that information and really drills down into the detail of it. And this is really the power that you're getting from Click and also dashboards of this type that provides you with at one click access to all that particular information. As well as the information from Aggressor, our customer services team, they produce information on a monthly basis, looking at the performance of the customer contact centre, but also how their interactions with the customers are going. So the number of people contacting the centre, number of people that are using the website, the amount of contacts that we have over social media. What we wanted to do was pull all that information together into a dashboard, again, so it can be presented to our senior managers, and also for really looking at how things can be improved and how we can change the service going forward. So you've got a view there again of some of the information that's being presented on that dashboard. As you can see, it's quite a lot more graphical than perhaps the previous two dashboards. But obviously, when you're looking at sort of finance information, doesn't really lend itself to a graphical view. So this is where some of the challenges that were presented to ourselves and to Click IT about how we could actually present that information, maybe in a very much graphical view, so that people who are looking at it can really get a really great understanding of what it's trying to show. So we've got some more views there in terms of, again, what the information it's showing, what we're getting from customer services, and actually how their performance with regards to the reception is going. But also, there's, as I mentioned before, information about website usage, where the sources of traffic from, unique visitors, and so on and so forth. There's actually on this dashboard, there's quite a lot of slides, quite a lot of tabs to click on, and a fantastic amount of information that's being displayed. So, talked about what's gone really well and the outcomes and what we've delivered. But as you can appreciate, it's not all been plain sailing, and we have had some challenges along the way. Getting to that rapid development culture, one from the developers who are undertaking that development, but also from our customers being prepared to sit down, work with us, and actually having stuff turned around maybe within days, where previously they've expected weeks or maybe months before they got something back. So that's been a bit of a challenge. Also, as a result of that rapid development culture, the requirements haven't necessarily been fully defined, which leads to scope creep. And also, because we're starting to analyse data in this particular way, concerns get raised around privacy and things like that. One of the things that we did find when we started to produce dashboards is that we had data quality issues. The really good news is that Click and the tools actually provide us with the insight about data quality, so we were able to address those data quality issues. But really importantly as well, once we show people that what we've produced is really good, then it's a problem if they want more, and so it's about managing expectations. So those are some of the challenges that we've actually faced as we've gone through this. The benefits have been immense. Obviously, from a manager perspective, you've got the full visibility of the information. We've got savings in time, so we've got some productivity savings and benefits as a result of that. Really importantly, we've got that fantastic analytics and insight that we were looking for. We've improved our data quality. We've actually saved time in terms of running reports and pulling information together, and ultimately our managers have got the reports at their fingertips and the information that they want. So I'm just going through the final couple of slides now. So the relationship with Click IT, we've done a lot of great stuff, as you've probably seen. This wouldn't have been possible without the support of Click IT as our support and implementation partner. They brought some great ideas to the table, and they've worked extremely well with us in terms of delivering what we felt that we need to deliver as a programme. We've still got a lot more to do, but we've got some great successes so far, and it's I think as a result of our team here at Wolverhampton working really well with Click IT that we've been able to achieve what we've done so far in such a short space of time. And finally, just leave you with the slide before we get into the questions about really how well I suppose what we've done so far has been received. We had an LGA peer review at the beginning of this year, As part of that peer review, we shared with the group, with the team that came in, what we've done at Wolverhampton, our vision for where we're going and what we want to do in the future, and they were really impressed with what we've achieved so far, but more importantly, the way that the dashboards have been developed, the way that they're presented, and the way that they're being used by the managers across the City of Wolverhampton Council. So hopefully that's provided you with a great insight of what's going on at Wolverhampton. I did say it was going to be a high energy and very quick run through. There was a lot to cover, there's a lot to get through, but hopefully that's given you a great insight in what's going on here, and hopefully give you something to take away and think about, and perhaps how you can take some of our learning into your own organisations. So I've got some questions that are coming in. Okay, so one of the questions that have been asked: would you say that agile methodology was the best approach to use? So that's a really good question. So agile methodologies bring their challenges. Some of those challenges possibly around things like scope creep and expectations. But certainly from a business intelligence perspective, it was absolutely the right way of doing it. It enabled us to do that rapid development. It enabled us to have that fantastic engagement with our customers, our end users. Gave us the input that we could then go away, we could then work on, and then within 2-3 days we could go back to them and show them what has actually been developed, and then get some further input again. What it did allow us to do as well was to deliver those dashboards quickly. So rather than having a program of work that you perhaps do for 6 months and then waiting for those results to be delivered, what we were able to do is deliver some of it, the value added stuff that we've got ready, allow people to start to use that whilst we then developed a bit more and added that into the dashboards. So the perfect methodology, I think, for what we've done. Okay then, I've got another question here. I'm not sure where it's come from. It says, how did you get around data protection and to provide a single picture of all your citizen data? It's a really good question, that. Just so you got a bit of an insight, we took our data from our social care solution, we took it from our housing management solution, and we took it from, I'm looking to my team now, revenues and benefits. So we took it from 3 data sources, combined them together. We had around about 260,000 records that we brought together initially, and what we've ended up with is probably 155,000 matched records. What we did right at the beginning was that we sat down with our information governance team. We talked about what we wanted to do, and then we set about writing some privacy notices, privacy impact assessments, so that we can make sure that we were staying inside the Data Protection Act, but also making sure that we'd actually got the right messaging out to citizens to say how the data is going to be used. We're in a fortunate position where our information governance team had actually started work in terms of loosening some of those messages to customers about how we were going to use the data. But it was still important that we actually identified which bits of data that we were going to pull together. So though I mentioned those 3 main systems that we're using, we obviously haven't pulled everything from there, pulled specific bits of information, and that was again important to identify which bits of information and how we're going to use them. Obviously GDPR is going to be coming in next year. That's going to present us with a number of challenges, and we're then going to have to probably revisit some of the things that we've done. I don't think it stops us from going forward. It doesn't stop us from doing what we need to do. It just means that we have to be more mindful of consent and how we would manage that consent going forward. But the important bit about this, I suppose an answer to the question, is talk to information governance, make sure you get your privacy impact assessments in place, and make sure you notify your citizens or the people that you're holding the data about what you're going to do about it. Okay, another question has been, where does data behind the dashboards come from? Is it automatic or manually entered? So in terms of the, if we looked at the HR dashboards and the finance dashboards, that information is being pulled from our ERP solution, which is aggresso. What happens is on a nightly basis, an extract of the required information is brought into a central area. The Click products do this. You do have to write the scripts and the extracts within Click, but it does do that automatically. It pulls the information together, puts it in a central place, and then basically the dashboards run over that data. Every night the information is refreshed, so that on a daily basis, every time that you come to use it, it's up to date with the transactions that have gone on in the previous day. From a customer services perspective, what we've done there is, first of all, it started off with extracting information from spreadsheets, and we use that to display the information. And then we went to that next stage, and we started to connect it up to Google, to Twitter, to Facebook, because there are connectors that allow you to connect the Click dashboards to the actual data sources. And so what we're doing is actually hooking it up to the data sources directly, and we're drawing that information in real time. We've still got some more work to do around that. We've hooked it up to our telephony solution, and we've still got to make some more sense of the telephony data before we actually allow that to feed and populate directly into the dashboard. But from Google, from Twitter, from Facebook, that information just flows straight in. Okay, what would you say is the most important success factor for your project? I suppose I could do a whole presentation on that, because there are many factors that are important to the success of any project. I would say, from a business intelligence perspective, is about engagement with your customer. Your end customer knows exactly what the data is, knows the importance of the data, and you need to understand that data in order to provide and deliver an intelligent dashboard that provides that insight. So that communication, that engagement with the customer is important. Up front, you need to have that clear view set of requirements. What does good look like for that customer? What is their expectations? And then as you go through the development cycle, make sure that customer is fully engaged, and that you're actually going back and showing them what you're delivering as often as you can, so that they can provide that input all the way through the development cycle. If you do that, then by the time that you get to the end of it, you will actually have a dashboard or an application that's fit for purpose for that customer, who will then have the insight that they're actually looking for. So to me, most important success factor is that engagement with the customer. Okay then, I've been told I need to wrap up because we're running out of time. There's been lots of questions coming in, and I really do appreciate that. What we will do, those questions I haven't been able to answer at this moment in time, what we'll do is we'll go through them and make sure that they're all responded to after the event. If anybody does want to have further follow-ups with myself or colleagues at the City of Wolverhampton Council, then we'll be more than happy to spend some time with you to really discuss, perhaps in a bit more detail, what we've done, or maybe to see how our experiences may help you to do what you want to do in the future. So what I do want to say is thank you very much for listening. I hope it's been informative, and I look forward to answering the questions that you have sent us, and obviously any further engagements that we might have in the future. So thank you very much.
Andy, thank you very, very much indeed. I would like to just very quickly put a shout out to Andy, not only very much thanking him for all the effort that's gone into this, but actually almost more importantly for you've seen what a success this project has been, and it has been a huge partnership, and it's a huge credit to the council for the way that they have gone about it. Clearly, they've got an excellent platform. You'd expect me to say that about the Click platform. Clearly, they've got excellent support from us. You'd also expect to say that. But actually, the thing that makes it possible is the fact that Andy has managed to, and the team have driven that team into a real state of enthusiasm and understanding and being very sensible about it. If you'd like to know more about how that could affect your authority, I'm sure know for a fact Andy will be delighted to continue to share a little bit more, and obviously Click IT will be delighted to have us. If you've logged on to this, you must have our details on one of the emails we've sent you we would absolutely love to come and talk to you too. So Andy, thank you so much. Thank you very much, everybody, for listening. Hope you've enjoyed it, and have a good rest of the afternoon.